Last night I was given 45 minutes to make the hardest decision of my life. As I'm sure most of you have heard by now, I accepted a trade to the Houston Astros. Firstly, I want to thank everyone here in Detroit, from the front office to all of my teammates, and especially the fans. The way you guys have treated me over the last 12 years has been so special to me. Going all the way back to 2006, when this city was in turmoil, I remember the way everybody rallied around our team going to the World Series that year and what it meant to this city. And what a special time in my life. And I find myself now, I'm excited to go to Houston. It's another city in turmoil right now, as everybody knows. I'm excited to give the city something to rally around and something to cheer for and root for. And hopefully we can bring a championship to Houston. So I'm excited about this next chapter in my life.
The Detroit Tigers have stripped their roster of nearly all of their veteran talent in favor of the less expensive youth movement. How will this athleticism and inexperience translate to the field for the remainder of this year and beyond? Ted Berg is a USA Today baseball writer, and he joined me on Wednesday to talk the state of the Tigers. First of all, Ted, we want to take the opportunity and welcome you to the Two Man Advantage podcast, and we're excited to talk some Tigers baseball with you this afternoon.
Thanks for having me, Kevin. I appreciate it.
So when we look at the Tigers now, Ted, they've sort of gutted themselves of all of their marketable players with the trading of both J.D. Martinez and Justin Verlander. So I'll start you off with a two-part question. What did you think of the trade of Verlander and Martinez? What do you think is the current state of the Tigers?
Well, look, I think the trades clearly signify that the Tigers are going into rebuild mode. With Mike Ilitch as the owner, for a long time it seemed like the Tigers were just going to keep pushing to try to win. He was, if you look at least statistically, one of the most loved owners in sports. It's very rare that fans should like a team's owner, but because he was so committed to winning and because he was willing to spend, people always seem to like him for it, and understandably. Since he did pass away, it had been prior that he was always sort of pushing, it seemed, to win before he died. He died without winning the World Series, and now the Tigers are left with the team, which had a bunch of sort of overinflated contracts that were signed in pursuit of this championship, and a mostly gutted farm system that definitely needed some depth. And so by trading away guys like J.D. Martinez, as you mentioned, Justin Upton, getting rid of his contract, and Justin Verlander, who I understand was a face of the franchise there. I think the Tigers made a series of smart moves to sort of improve their stock for the future.
And just playing off, you said that Verlander obviously was the face of the franchise. So how do you think the Tigers move forward, and how do you think the loss of Verlander will sort of hurt them in the bottom line when they're looking to sell some tickets for next season?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough, and they're probably going to have to stomach, a few years where attendance does go down. And I think, we've seen in recent years that it seems, even when a team does climb out of the spot where the Tigers are right now, even when they do rebuild, it still tends to take a year after that for the fans to start coming back. So it might be a rough couple of years to come in Detroit, but I think what we've seen is that the old way of trying to build a good team, trying to sign a lot of expensive free agents, trying to bring in proven veterans like the Tigers have been doing, it's increasingly less effective. You've seen teams like the Yankees and the Red Sox, clubs that are usually those big spenders, have sort of shifted to developing their own homegrown talent and trying to extend the later. And I think the Tigers are sort of following down that road. I think it's a long one, but I think that, when you do get your next crop of stars, of homegrown guys like Verlander, then, the fans sort of come back. I think they've got some nice pieces there. Michael Fulmer, I know, is a little bit banged up right now, but obviously a really good pitcher. Not quite Verlander, so especially in terms of career, what he's done in his career and what you could hope for him to do in his career. But a nice piece, certainly. There's a lot to like about Daniel Norris. There's some upside to Matt Boyd. But I think it's going to be probably a couple of years at least before you're looking at a winning team there.
Now, can you just give me a breakdown of what you think the Tigers got and all of those prospects for their high-priced veterans?
So in the case of Upton, it sort of looks like it's mostly getting rid of the salary, and Upton has been a good player for them. The guys that seem like the best haul, and it makes sense, would be what they got back for Verlander. They added Franklin Perez, a young pitcher who's had a great season, very young for his level, whom is now ranked, I think, by most as the top prospect in the Tigers system. They got an outfielder named Daz Cameron, who himself was very young and had a really nice year at Single A, and a catcher, Jake Rogers, who's also probably part of their top 10 prospects now. Again, all these guys are probably more than a season away from the major leagues, but what the Tigers need more than anything is that organizational depth. And so bringing in guys like that, bringing in guys like Heimer Candelario, they got an earlier trade this year, sort of builds up their crop of players, and not all of them are going to turn into superstars. But if a couple of them do, they're in a lot better shape for 2019 and 2020.
Now, when we look at the Tigers, obviously they're hoping to adopt sort of the model that the Cubs did when they rebuilt their farm system and eventually their franchise. So do you think the Tigers will follow that same model, obviously with all of their young pieces now?
Yeah, I mean, that's the hope. I think that you have to look a little bit at windows of contention, especially, in a division like the AL Central. There's no, powerhouse spender. If anything, it is the Tigers who are the big spending team there. So there's no, Yankees or Red Sox where it feels like they're going to be at the top of the division every year. If you look at that, I think at that division, honestly, you can see that the Indians, with their pitching and the contracts those guys are signed to, they're going to be good for a couple more years. The Twins are a team on the rise. They've been pretty good this year, and they've got a ton of good young players who should only be getting better for the next couple of years. I think what the Tigers probably want to do, and what the Tigers probably are doing, is sort of that season down the road once the Indians step back a little bit, once these pitchers age or play their way out of Cleveland, and when they're going to try to take down, I would say probably the Twins, who look like that next competitive team. Now the White Sox are a little bit ahead of the Tigers in the same process, so it's not going to be a straight path. But yeah, I would say the Cubs are absolutely, for all teams going about, rebuilding now, Cubs would absolutely be the model for that. You can't always count on that type of success. The Cubs drafted well, and Theo Epstein did an incredibly good job trading for young players there. But you can at least hope for that.
And what do you think all of these changes mean for the future of Brad Ausmus's Tigers manager, because his contract is up at the end of the season?
That's a good question, and it's rare, I think, it feels less rare now, but for a long time it always seemed like a manager in his last season, in the last season of his contract, if he didn't get an extension yet, it always kind of felt like he was doomed. I know there's been a lot of talk about Ausmus over the past few years there, but it also seems like managers are getting fired less and less frequently now. We've had no in-season managerial firings this season, which is fairly rare. And so, if Ausmus is the guy there, if he's Avila's guy, and they trust him to be the guy to turn this franchise around, then maybe they bring him back to an extension. He spent a few days this winter trying to figure out, who exactly is the person they want to take over now, because it's going to be a different role, right? What Brad Ausmus has had to do so far is take a bunch of veteran guys and keep them in contention. Now they're going to be asking him to take a bunch of young guys and sort of groom them into very good baseball players.
Can you talk to me sort of about the end of this era of Tigers baseball? Because when Brad Ausmus took this job, as you said, he was charged with trying to get a veteran team over the hump after Leland retired, and now the landscape of the team is different. So I'm just wondering if you can comment on the end of sort of an era of Tigers baseball.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that Verlander certainly seems to signify the end of, I tend to think of Verlander and Miguel Cabrera as sort of the pillars of the Tigers' success in recent years. And, guys like Victor Martinez certainly a part of that as well. I think to me, as long as they'll still have a veteran lineup for the next couple of years, and we'll see how they go or if they go about dismantling that. But, Miguel Cabrera has such a big contract and is signed for so long that I can't imagine him going anywhere. And I can't imagine them, desperate to get rid of him after what has really been the first down year of his entire career. So to me, I think that it'll be a different look for sure. But Cabrera is so strongly a guy I identify with that team that as long as he's there, I feel like there's some continuity.
And talk to me about how do you think the Tigers can expedite sort of this rebuilding process? What has to go right for them in order to expedite this entire process?
Well, you need to do a good job, developing players and developing for them. I think a lot of starting pitching. There's talent there, like I said, and there's Fulmer, who has had some success early in his career. But starting pitching, especially young starting pitching, is always a difficult and finicky thing. And so, I think that if you look at the Cubs, you tend to think, okay, maybe a team is better off trying to collect as many good young position players as they can find and then fill in around them. Now, the Tigers have a luxury that maybe the Pirates wouldn't have in a similar process. That a team like, I'm trying to think of various, even the Indians, where they can't, compete financially with some of the bigger market clubs. The Tigers have always seemed willing to spend like a top market team, and so that is going to help accelerate the process. It makes me think of the Yankees, a team that so swiftly went young, and part of the reason they were able to stay successful and they're still in contention this year, really just 1 year after selling off a bunch of pieces at the trade deadline, is that they always have the money to fill in around their guys. And so whether that means, getting that final piece when your team is ready to be, a pennant winner, or whether it means just getting decent players to stick around your rookies and give them good opportunities, I think, having the payroll and the financial flexibility to spend some money always helps.
Now, the remaining veterans, the Tigers may be looking to move during the offseason, Ian Kinsler and Jose Iglesias. I can't see either of those two veterans sticking around if they have the opportunity to do that. So, do you think that or opportunities to move? Do you think the Tigers will be more active to move their remaining veterans this offseason?
Yeah, I think that if Kinsler, I'm not sure what his no-trade status is. I suspect with the deal he signed, he would have some sort of no-trade status. But I think he's also, I'm looking it up now, looks like he's a free agent after the season. So, no, I'm sorry, I got it. There's a team option on his contract for next season. So I think that they'd probably be smart to exercise that option and try to trade him. Because if he'd be willing to waive the no-trade clause, just because he's a guy, he's had a down year this year, but that has had a ton of value, especially defensively in recent seasons. A guy who's been good enough lately enough that some team probably would trade something for him, that the $12 million salary doesn't seem like an outrageous price for how good he has been. And so, I do think it'll be I think as long as the Tigers have some veterans to trade, I think it'll be an active front office.
Now, when you look at the new change in ownership, obviously Chris Illich is now taking over, and I can't help but think the Tigers got off to such a slow start when they had all of their veteran pieces, and they really never put a sustained winning streak together. So, how much do you think that impacted their decision to go young now?
I think it's the aggregate, right? That it's just over the, it seemed like they almost hung around because the AL wild card race was so deep this year that really until just after the All-Star break, it felt like they were kind of hanging around. But I think once they sort of fell apart in late July, then it was clear, they're not going to win this year, and you might as well start cashing in the pieces you have. Remember, anybody can get hurt, and anybody can lose that value. So if you can turn Verlander into some prospects, maybe this was clearly then the time to make that change.
And my final question for you is, why should people be optimistic about Tigers baseball moving forward? Because if you read things around here, the sky is falling with all of the veteran players now gone and sort of in the rebuilding mode. So how do you think Avila can sell hope and optimism to the Tigers fan base and those who follow the Tigers?
I think the optimism has to just be about looking elsewhere. Like I mentioned, the Yankees and Red Sox; those are again teams that are perennial contenders. But again, look at the Diamondbacks this year, and the Rockies, and and the Cubs, the team you mentioned before. All of these teams that have built these young cores of players and rode them to success. It's clearly the way to do it. It's new, and the Tigers sort of got a late start because they were trying to win, because they were trying to contend every single year. I don't think they did as much as some other teams to build that young group of players that they'll need. But it's the way to go, and there's, once your group of veterans isn't going to do it anymore, and it became pretty clear, I think, that their group of veterans isn't going to do it anymore, then the right move has to be cutting the cord and going young and trying to build the best team you can as quickly as possible.
Hey, Ted, we want to thank you for your insight on some Tigers baseball, and we had a great time speaking with you this afternoon, buddy. Thanks for your time.
Kevin, thanks so much for having me. It was fun.